Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Real Talks with FG. Apologize, I have not been showing up quite lately. Life has been happening underneath. But the most important thing is that I'm here today. So, my topic today, I would like to talk about forgiveness. And I would like to share my own experience about my first experience with forgiveness and how I felt afterwards. So, for those of you who do not know, I grew up with my stepmom. Yes, I grew up in a polygamous house and I had a stepmom. Our relationship wasn't the best. In fact, I would say it wasn't a good relationship. And for many people who lived with us, there's always that, um, negative experience with my stepmom, and myself included. I had a lot of negative experiences growing up with her. We were scared of her mostly because of the fact that she would always, tell our dad things, and we just it was just like it wasn't a good experience. I wouldn't want to go too into details of so many of the things, but there were a lot, and may Allah have mercy on her soul. She's late now, and I also do not like to talk ill about the dead. But I'm sharing this because of the experience that this taught me. So, like I was saying earlier on, we didn't have a great relationship, my stepmom and I, but there were certain things that she did to me, that she did for me, that I found them really appreciative. Like, kind of conquered the the difficult parts or the challenges that I had with her, or the many issues that I had with her. And there were many. In fact, if I were to look at it, I had more issues. Like, we were always at we were not always not on good terms, more than I was on a good term with her. So, like, let me just say it in this way: there were more negatives than the positives. But I found myself, so when I was in I think my late teens or early 20s, I guess that was the time I started to do a lot of these reflections, and I would sit with myself and I wonder what life would have been without my stepmom in my life. I go through some instances, some freedom that we kind of had, that if it wasn't for the fear of my stepmom, or the discipline that also transferred from whenever she tells our dad something, maybe I wouldn't be the modest, the wise, the honest, the respectful person that I am now. Maybe I would have grown up wayward or different. Sometimes I look at all of these things and I wonder, what if she was there to, even though it seemed like there were hardship and challenges, what if she was a purpose in our lives, or in my life at the time when she was alive, was actually to, guide me on the right path, or to put me on this path that I am today, and also the lessons which I will also be sharing. But other than the negative sides that I had, experiences that I had with her, I remember these experiences that stood out for me, what she stood up for me. The one or two times that she stood up for me, like she spoke for me, I kind of felt like I appreciated those moments so much that it made me kind of forget all of the things that the bad things that happened between us. So back to my story. As time went by, even when I graduated, I was the last. Since I've been the last born, I was the last to finish in the university. So I was the one that spent the most time with her, because every one of my siblings graduated and left the house, right? And I was eventually left with my stepmom and my dad. So I had to spend more time, just alone with her and with none of my siblings. And during that period, we did have a lot of our rifts, but somehow I just found myself always still, reaching out to her, checking up on her, and you're always trying to help her when she had challenges. And I guess she must have sensed some of these things, because she didn't it wasn't very usual. Most of the time when people leave the house, a lot of people don't come back. A lot of people end up, saying a lot of things about her. A lot of people cut off their relationship with her, but I never did that. So once I graduated, I think that period where I was still at home with her, something shifted in my stepmom, I guess, and also something shifted in me. I don't even know why, but I wasn't caring anymore. I was just, being entirely honest and nice to her. And she had I had at my adopted siblings where I would look after them. I wouldn't even mind whether she was there or not. I just did my things for the sake of Allah. And I guess that was where the shift kind of started up. So when I graduated, I went out, I left the house, I went for my service year. I think it was I can't remember exactly, particularly what, but I remember it was either my first allowance, NYC allowance, or my first salary. I can't really remember because I know she passed away before I got married. That was in 2009, I believe. She passed away in 2009. So I'm trying to really, but anyway, just to not go into deep into trying to remember when the timeline was. I received my first alawi or something like that. My first allowance, for those who do not understand, my first allowance. And what I did was to do something for my parents. So I bought a gift for my parents, my mom, and my dad. I gifted every one of my parents something as a way of, appreciating my parents and all of that. And I did the same for my stepmom. And what I did not know at that time was that how much she really appreciated. I don't know, maybe if it wasn't something that she got often, or maybe she just didn't expect it from me because of the how our relationship was always like, up and down. But this was what happened. So I bought her this material. I still remember the designs of the material. I think it was a Woodin or Daviva, one of those materials, those African prints. And I gifted it to her. I think I sent it to someone because I was already in Lagos then. I sent it through someone. I can't really remember the whole details of it. So afterwards, I think after she passed away, I've had the opportunity because I wasn't in Maiduguri when she passed away. I wasn't with her when she passed away. So I was able to, I think it was during my wedding, because I got married a year after she passed away, and I met with some people, some of my family members who were there with her as at the time she passed away, and the stories they shared to me about how my stepmom was so happy, how she was so happy with that one piece of clothing that I sent to her, that one piece of cloth that I sent to her. She was so happy. She showed it to everyone. And I'd even forgotten about all of this. And it just brought it to my attention that, oh, she celebrated it so much. She told everyone, look what her daughter sent for her. Her daughter is working now, is serving now. And she sent her this with, I'm getting emotional saying this about her. But this was for me. I think this was the first experience for me in seeing how much forgiveness does, and how how it also shifts, even when people do bad things to you. It was different for me. I didn't understand why that meant a lot to her, but it made me happy. It gave me closure, that even though she passed away and we didn't see each other, and it made me feel comfortable that yes, truly I forgave her even before she passed away, which I think really made a lot of difference for me. And it's still one of those things that I am truly proud of, because I did not expect that it will mean so much to her. Why am I sharing this? Most times, we underestimate these little things. We hold on to grudges. I'm saying this also for myself, because everything I share here on my Real Talks with FGs are always things that I always have to take away something from myself. And we need to, let go of holding grudges. We need to confront reality, speak about it. Sometimes some people are holding grudges and they don't even tell you the reason why. They don't even tell you the reason why they're holding grudges with you. If you are that person, please stop. One of the things that I'm beginning to do more in my 40s now is to reach out to people who have hurt me, who have done something to hurt me or said something, or no matter who you are, I'll reach out to you, I'll call you, and I'll tell you this is what you did and I didn't like it and it hurt me, and then we can now resolve it, solve it out, sort it out, and just move on from it. So why I'm sharing this today is some of the things that these are the little things that we take for granted. Even in Islam, Allah encourages us to forgive, because remember that we also have, we are not perfect. We sin, we make mistakes, and we turn to Allah for forgiveness. Imagine if Allah doesn't forgive us for those things that we commit, and we do it like every other day. And it is very important for us to remind ourselves, to sit with ourselves and reflect. One of the things I do personally is this: as much as possible, I try to pick out the good things that people do in my life. I try to hold on to those good things. And over time, when I remember those good things, it kind of supersedes the evil or the bad things that they've done to me, and I kind of just let it go. I'm still working on forgiving certain people, because there are a lot of people, there's a depth to which you can forgive. But I guess that, by sitting with ourselves, by making dua, by asking Allah for forgiveness, and we are in the sacred month of Zulhajj, which we can also make the best of it by asking for forgiveness, and also asking for forgiveness and praying for the people who have offended us, or who have, who have passed on, yet we kind of feel like we're still holding on to something they have done for us. I pray that Allah Almighty grants of the hearts of forgiveness. Let me know if this talk spoke to you, if this conversation is something that touches you, or if you also had similar experiences. I'd love to hear from you. As always, this is Real Talks with FG. We're just having this real, honest conversation, one real conversation at a time. And I'll see you on the next episode.